In May of 2019, we were appealing a loss at the Florida Supreme Court to the United States Supreme Court via a petition for certiorari. And we had already asked for an extension of time by the time we realized that maybe it would be really helpful to have amicus briefs. So we were scrambling to find not only the amicis themselves, but a firm to help us write the petitions on behalf of the amicis. So we reached out to DLA Piper, and I was working mostly with Ardith Bronson and Alana Einstein. And it was a last minute Hail Mary thing, and they jumped right in and they did a fantastic job. They rounded up a ton of judges and justices, including people who had been on the Florida Supreme Court, which is where we were appealing from.
And DLA Piper put together an amicus party of former jurists in Florida. And they served as counsel for this group that included former judges of the Florida Supreme Court, former judge of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit, and the dean of Florida State University Law, all sharply criticizing the Florida Supreme Court's current post-Hearst doctrine. And it was striking that DLA Piper was able to put together a group like that of former jurists and judges who are sort of typically reluctant to criticize their successors or their former court. But DLA Piper wrote a compelling and convincing brief and assembled this fantastic group.
Amicus briefs don't always get the credit that they deserve because they're not the main petition, but in this case, we really thought it was important to have the voices of former judges and justices sort of explain how the Florida Supreme Court has gone awry, and I think they did a really good job, and it was really important to us that it went along with the petition.
The other case that I was involved with in DLA Piper was an amicus brief filed in the Eric Branch case. Eric Branch was a client represented by my office. His was a death warrant case, and we were filing the amicus brief in the U.S. Supreme Court just days before the execution. And for one thing, this meant serious time constraints that I know were not always favored by experienced Supreme Court litigators. But I cannot say enough good things or thank DLA Piper enough for standing with us and Mr. Branch and filing that amicus. And we'll be forever grateful for that. And even though we lost those proceedings and Mr. Branch was executed, I know he himself was truly grateful for his entire extended legal team throughout the warrant, including the amicus brief that DLA Piper filed on the Hearst litigation. And I actually wanted to read a few of Eric's own words about the legal representation he received during the warrant, which included DLA Piper's work. And this is a letter that was addressed to my office, but he's speaking about the broader legal effort. And it stated the day of his execution, and we received it a few days later. So Eric wrote, "Soon I'll be flying. Before I take off, I want to share my appreciation to the entire combined team. You have earned my everlasting gratitude. I admire everyone's desire to do good in the world and their willingness to reach into the unknown and unfamiliar to lend a hand. Not for awards or accolades, but because they wish to make a difference upon people they encounter and contribute to society for the betterment of all. As I splinter into a million atoms, I will carry with me the kindness and generosity you each gave me. Keep giving them hell, Eric Branch, eternally." It really means something to our clients to have firms like DLA Piper standing up for them in defense of their rights. And I encourage other firms to continue to follow DLA Piper's lead in that. So thank you so much to DLA Piper for standing with us in this work.
I'm so honored to accept this award on behalf of DLA Piper. Our death penalty advocacy team could not be more grateful to receive this recognition from the ABA.
On behalf of the lawyers and professionals at DLA Piper, we're incredibly grateful to share the ABA Exceptional Service Award with our friends at Dorsey and Whitney. We're also thrilled to be partners with the ABA and public interest organizations throughout the country in handling pro bono matters for clients with minimal or no resources for legal representation. As a former prosecutor and now as a member of a private law practice, my role, all of our roles as lawyers, are the same: to advance the rule of law, defend liberty, deliver justice. And it's without coincidence that this is also the mission of the American Bar Association.
When I was a kid, I watched several of my close family members shuffle in and out of jail and prison for most of my childhood. And one of my older brothers is still in the prison system here in California today. And as I got older and became more educated, I realized that what was happening to my family wasn't unique, but that Black and brown families across the country were disproportionately affected by the criminal justice system in our country. And I think that the death penalty is one of the starkest examples of how justice can be miscarried in our country. The thought that even one innocent person has been executed or has spent decades on death row is heartbreaking. And then to know that it has happened to numerous people that are on death row. And I think that guilt or innocence aside, it's very important that we give a voice to these members of our society who are often overlooked. And we often don't look at them as complete human beings. We don't think about their stories and the things that happened to them in their lives that led them to make the decisions that they made.
Death penalty work is among the toughest in the legal profession. The strain that these cases put on victims and their families is incalculable. Capital cases are also the ultimate stress test for our system of justice and call all of us as prosecutors, as defense lawyers, as judges to ensure that each case is fairly adjudicated. And if not, then our justice system shouldn't be afraid to right a wrong. That's why DLA Piper is proud to participate in pro bono representations.
While an award for any pro bono work is always an honor, this award, recognizing the work we have done in partnership with the ABA's Death Penalty Representation Project, is the most meaningful of all. That's not an exaggeration. We as lawyers are privileged to be able to use our skills to engage in advocacy that not only has the potential to directly impact a person's very life, but also to hold our justice system accountable for the manner in which it dispenses the ultimate punishment. We do not take this responsibility lightly.
I'm so thankful to work at a firm that allows me to do this work. And I just think that it's such a privilege and an honor, and I'm so glad to be a part of this team.
I want to thank the ABA for giving my colleagues and me the opportunity to contribute in some small way to our joint mission.
Thank you again for the honor of the Exceptional Service Award.